Hi, I'm Scott, and today I'm going to show you my evening regimen. There are certain things that you should be doing every day and certain things that you should do specifically at night. So, here we go. First thing I do is I moisturize my face. Moisturizing is very important, and it's a good idea to go and do at least twice a day. I've already taken a shower, and I've made sure that my face is already clean before I put any product on. And before I actually apply the moisturizer, I put a little bit of hyaluronic acid and combine the two. Like I said from my last video, hyaluronic acid can hold 1,000 times its weight in water. So it's very important for any moisturizing regimen. You want to do this very, very lightly because the skin, especially underneath your eyes, are very sensitive. You don't want to stretch and cause any wrinkles or anything like that. And that's pretty much it. There is something else I do. I have a liquid form of biotin. I will get a dab of that and also put that on my face. And since biotin's really, really good for the hair, a couple of drops there. Then I'm going to brush my teeth, but I'm also going to brush my lips to make them soft and more supple. An electric toothbrush can do so much more than a regular toothbrush, so if you have the opportunity, I highly recommend. This particular brand is a Philips Sonic Care. I've had it for probably about 5 or 6 years now, and I've never had any problems. The only thing I don't like about this particular electric toothbrush is that it'll just die on you and then you have to go and recharge it, so you don't get any necessarily notifications ahead of time. So just bear that in mind. The bristles actually vibrate at over 1,000 times faster than you'd be able to go and brush your teeth alone. When you use something like an electric toothbrush, always read the instructions, but this particular brand tells you to keep your toothbrush against your teeth lightly for 2 seconds, and then you move it to the next spot. You keep doing that both in and out until you get everything. Also, you can brush your gums by pressing the gum option. Right now it's just on whitening mode, and brushing your tongue. So many germs just live on the tongue, and it's always a good idea to go and brush your tongue at least once a day. Now, I didn't actually brush my lips, but let's do that now. You want to do this over the sink in case you make any mess. Again, that's really good for exfoliating your skin on your lips. Just rinsing off the toothpaste. What you want to do then is moisturize. So I'm just going to take a little bit of moisturizer that I already put on my face, put some on my lips, and then use something like chapstick. You can also use Vaseline if you want to use that, or some kind of petroleum jelly. Some kind of protective barrier for your lips, just like you did for the rest of your face. And if you use something like chapstick during the daytime, it's always a good idea to go and use one with SPF protection against skin damage. Now, one of the other things I do is Trenton or retin-A. I'm not going to do it yet because it's actually not evening. And then I use 5% minoxidil for my hair loss. Some people buy foam and find that easier. This is actually just drops. So you just fill it to the milliliter line and put it in your hair. They say that it's a good idea not to go and spread it, so I kind of just lightly press and get a little bit in each spot. Now, like I said, I've lost my hair. I've been losing my hair now since I was like 26, 27, something like that. And had I not used finasteride and minoxidil, I probably would have been completely bald by now. So, I also put a little bit by my temples. Hopefully maybe get a little bit more of a line there on my face. And if you want, just be careful, put around some next to my eyebrows. And if you really want, be careful with this, just dabbing my fingers here, put a little bit on my eyelashes. Eyelashes are one of those things you can easily do to look younger, just having eyelashes. The older you get, the lighter and thinner your eyelashes become, and just like the rest of your hair, they could possibly fall out. Now, also, I brush my hair before I go to bed, just so it's less gunked up in the morning and a little bit more manageable after I shower. Now, it's important for you to wash your face, and what I would normally do is put some retin-A also on the top of my head. With the minoxidil, the combination really helps together. But it's important to make sure that you wash all the retin-A off in the morning, because it will make your face red and very sensitive to sunlight. So you don't want to get any extra burn or any extra tan, because that could just defeat the entire purpose of using retin-A. The last thing I do is, I'll show you. This is an iRestore cap. It has red LEDs and lasers, and it's been cleared by the Food and Drug Administration to help reduce hair loss. Once you plug it in, you turn it on, and then you hit the play button. Not sure what else to call the arrow. Now, you can't see it because it automatically turns on when there's something in the cap. So maybe when I turn this on, you might be able to see some of the red from the lights. Yeah, you can see them now. You're supposed to wear this for 25 minutes. Once every other day. I bought this unit about less than a month ago, so I haven't seen any improvements. If I'm ever going to, I will give you an update in probably 6 months, and just let you know how it works. So this is the before, and I'll give you an after then. The other thing that I do sometimes, if I am tired but not extremely tired before I go to bed, I might also do a drop of CBD oil. CBD oil really helps me to sleep. Some people also take like melatonin and magnesium. For me, CBD usually does it. I am a good sleeper. I'm not exactly what you'd call a light sleeper, but I'm not a heavy sleeper either. I don't normally get up in the middle of the night, but I also wear a Fitbit and measure my sleep progress. If the key for me, more than anything else, is just giving myself enough time to sleep. Everyone should get at least 8 hours of sleep, somewhere between 7 and 9 hours of sleep a night. But you have to give yourself a little bit of time on top of that to be able to just, relax, get into the mode of sleeping. And it's always best to give yourself at least 9 hours of bed time. I highly recommend that. So if I give myself 9 or 10 hours of bedtime, I usually get at least 8 to 9 hours of sleep. That's it for today. I hope you watched my next video and found this beneficial. If you have a different evening regimen or do something different than what I do, please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Take care.